Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. General Maximus and Colin Powell know it. To win battles, troops should be all lined up. Well, you have 4 automotive soldiers who need to get straight. So when I return, it's hip-hop marching orders.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cars have 4 road warriors, and they fight quite a battle. These infantrymen are your wheels, and when out of alignment, they can cost you in comfort and repairs. Here are some suggestions at alignment time. Gas tank should be full, with spare tire, but no other heavy objects in the trunk. Remind your technician to align wheels with the thrust line and to check the car's riding height. Buzzwords are thrust line and riding height. Now, onward, wheel soldiers. You're ready for battle with bumpy roads. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. Cotton candy at the fair, collector stamps, and bubble gum. Sticky things that are good. But a stuck accelerator is no joyride. When I come back, I'll tell you how to slow things down.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Life in the fast lane. Yep, when your accelerator sticks, you really feel out of control. To get back in the driver's seat, turn off your engine, shift to neutral, and pull off the road. Be aware, power brakes and steering become manual, so stopping and turning require more muscle. Can you drive your car? Depends on the cause. If it's a wedged floor mat, yes, but more likely it's a broken spring or bind in the throttle linkage, which requires you to slow down and call a tow truck. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with another Car Clinic Minute. Cindy Crawford, Antonio Zapata, and Claudia Schiffer. Today's models who have beauty and talent. But those guys have nothing on the original model. When I come back, I'll tell you all about it.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Looking for the ultimate model with brains, brawn, and beauty? Too late. Henry Ford beat you to the punch. Yes, in 1908, Mr. Ford introduced his spectacular Model T at a whopping $290. Extras purchased separately included tool chests, rubber hood silencers, flower vases, and clamp-on dash lights. And was the Model T versatile? It was modified as a snowmobile, buzzsaw, sheep shearer, corn shredder, feed grinder, butter churner, and water pump. Move over, Cindy. The Model T's a classic. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. When you think fresh air, Do you picture Himalayan mountains, Tahitian beaches, or Japanese oxygen bars? How about closer to home? Say, your garage. Yep, when I come back, I'll help you breathe easier.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Need a breath of fresh air? No need to fly to exotic places. Just hop in your car. How's that, since air inside your car's 10 times more polluted than air outside? Passenger cabin air filters. Like those in your home, these filters screen out pollen, dust, and exhaust. Many cars, like Taurus, Windstar, and Monte Carlo, already have air filters. If yours does, include an air filter change by a qualified technician with your annual automotive checkup. Ah, almost like being in Tahiti. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And good morning. Welcome to this segment, this edition, and this hour of Bobby Likis Car. All three rolled into one, right, Fabio? This segment, this edition, and this hour, which means we are at the top of a 2-hour broadcast, a global cast. And for all of you tuned in through our AM and or FM radio stations, a special welcome. For all of our Car Clinic affiliate radio stations throughout the nation, we sure appreciate you broadcasting this program, and I'd love to get calls from all over the nation. I mean, I haven't heard from Washington State in a while, so wake up, guys. I know it's early. When we invite folks on, like today, we've invited Gerald Wickland, who is a CarStar owner. And CarStar, folks, is the largest national chain or association for collision service shops. So we invited Gerald Wickland to join us later in the program, and Fabio is going to dial him up, or Hannah is, sweet Hannah. Oh, yeah, by the way, 888 Car Clinic is the number for you to call. Let's get the show started. I've got great information, and I have a question about a problem that I have in the shop with regard to a Mercedes air ride system that I'd like to share with you to see what your ideas are. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part this morning by O'Reilly Auto Parts. 1 out of 4 batteries will fail this winter. When I come back, I'll give you more information on why that's important to you. In the meantime, 888 226 227 2546. I'll get there. Stay with me. This week, we had an 05 Chevy Silverado towed in with a gear shift lever refusing to go into park. Folks, the owner was visiting Florida on vacation and was stranded. The truck shifted just fine in reverse, drive, and neutral, but not going into park meant the key wouldn't come out. Upon closer inspection, we determined the shift lever actuator unit was the cause, and right away, we called our O'Reilly Auto Parts counterman, explained our situation, and told him we needed the part ASAP. I'm sure the folks at O'Reilly Auto Parts hear the same story from every shop in town, but to our delight and our traveling customers, they delivered the part in less than an hour. The truck was fixed, our customer back on the road, and everyone smiling. What a terrific experience it was to have fast, friendly, almost instant parts delivery from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Just one more reason we depend on O'Reilly Auto Parts, and that's why our first call for parts is O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Car repairs can get expensive, and most folks don't have spare money laying around for them. That's where brands like K-Seal can really be a lifesaver. A vehicle recently came into our car clinic service shop and was using a lot of coolant. A test showed an internal coolant leak, head gaskets likely. This was an older vehicle, so there was definitely some question as to whether it was worth the fix, as repairs could easily cost a few $1,000s. The car was still nice and safe, and the customer was not particularly ready to buy another vehicle. From our past experience and our car clinic listener stories, we poured a bottle of K-Seal into the cooling system, topped off the level, and took it for a test drive and let it cool. The owner continued to drive the car for a week or so, checking the coolant level daily, and pretty soon, the level stabilized. K-Seal did the trick. That was several months ago, and it's still holding. In this case, K-Seal turned a coolant leak casualty into a cash saver. You can pick up K-Seal at automotive retailers everywhere and learn more about K-Seal at kseal.com. That's kseal.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Ricey Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, loaded, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, it starts my morning. Happy morning, your name is Folgers Mountain Grow. Now you're here, your aroma helps me wake, and the day is mine to take. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome to today's broadcast. I'm delighted to have you in the house, and Hannah will take your calls at 888 Car Clinic along the way. You can call early or you can call later, your choice, but best to get in early. And just remember, the only dumb car question is the one not asked, sort of like going to a doctor and you say, well, gosh, you know, I have a lot of questions, so I'm going to write those down. And I did that for a while. Then I realized that you can sort of sit back and take a pen and paper, and that's right. There still are those things are still around. Paper, right? Pen and paper, or your iPad, or whatever handy dandy tool you have, or your voice memo. Heaven forbid we wouldn't want to use the latest technology. Anyway, so you write these questions down. And then you get to the doctor's office, and maybe 3 out of the 8 questions are really pertinent. And then when you leave there, there's one or two burning questions that you never thought of because the interaction that you had. And that's really what my point is here. Your interaction with your doctor, like spurred some questions that you didn't really think about until you left because of some of the questions the doctor asked you or the nurse or what have you. And a real simple one, have you had any recent weight loss? How much do you weigh? What's your height? What's your pulse? Do you take any blood pressure medicine? And all those sorts of things that you really just take for granted every day. So when you go to a service shop, and see, you notice how I segued into cars, okay? That's what we're going to talk about today, by the way, cars, or not. And so you go to a shop, and you got this noise, and you drive the car, and you got this noise. So the shop is really friendly, and they really give you the FaceTime and all the things that are so valuable that we do at our service shop. And you get someone to ride with you. Well, you go out, of course, the car's not going to do for the mechanic what it does for you. I mean, it's, as I said before, it's Attila the Hun for you, and it's Miss Manners when you take it to a service shop. But finally, so you leave the car in desperation because you say, and the technician or the service desk says, well, we'll road test it, we'll check it out, and we'll call you. That's also another part of the challenge with a service shop. Anybody ever tell you when you take your car in, we'll call you? Do you ever get a call? I mean, not ever, but how often do you get a call when you're told we'll get back to you when we learn something? So, an hour goes by, 2 hours, maybe a half a day, maybe 3/4 of a day, and you call back and you say, well, I'm calling, check on my car. Well, just a minute, and then somebody comes back. I mean, this happens every day in the service world. And I can only speak to the automotive service world because that's where my life has been in my career. So, but the challenge with that is, how do you stay in communication and how do you convey what your car is doing that you don't like to the technician that's going to work on your car when you're having to go through the service desk to convey to the service desk? And there's no way for you to know what's wrong. It's not your job anyway. It's your car, and you take it to the car clinic to get it repaired or to get it inspected or diagnosed or tested. And so it's a round robin, and it's called communication. Number one word in automotive service is not service. It's not repair. It's not new oil. It's not new filter or air in the tires. It's communication. So how do you, as a consumer, and I'm a consumer as well, how do we convey what our car is doing that we don't like? And then how do we go from where we are to where we'd like to be? Well, where would you like to be? Get it over with. I mean, if it's going to cost X or triple X, let me know, and let's make a decision with your professional input as to the best sense of direction to get this repaired. So that's an overview of my life. That's an overview of the life in the service bay at the service desk every day. And I'm sure that that's an overview that you can relate to because you're the consumer, you're the car owner, you're the person who owns that automobile. And so you have to establish a great communication with a service shop, and that means that somebody at the service desk has to be a communicator. I mean, you walk up and someone's on their computer and they don't even recognize you, and they're on their computer because they're making notes or they're working. I'm not saying they're not working, but to walk up to a service desk or to walk up to any business for that matter, and I have been to department stores where I was obviously in the women's department looking for a gift for my wife with that lost, and I know that if you work in a department store, you profile me right away. Look at that guy, he is lost. Well, so what can you do? You walk over, can I help you find something? Well, the general answer for me is, no, I'm just looking. Well, really, I'm not just looking. I'm in a quandary as to what can I buy that my wife will keep? And if I buy it, will it fit? And what if it doesn't? She'll have to come back. Well, those are all things with your car too. So next time you go to a service shop, say, I have, when you take your car in, do not hand them the keys. You look at this person straight face to face and you say, I have a problem with my car, but I have some questions. Let me tell you what it's doing I don't like. And so describe that in your own words. Don't try to be a techie and say, yes, at 62 miles an hour, the front wheel shimmies and vibrates, so it must have a wheel weight out of balance or a warped rotor. Really? That's what we say. All you got to say is, hey, my steering wheel shakes at 60 miles an hour. Not all the time, but most of the time. And then you can sort of begin the conversation. So let's begin a conversation with Robert, who has a 16 Subaru. And now's a good time, folks, for you to get in. 888-227-2546. I got that number right because thanks to Hannah, she's got it right up on the screen. I've only said it about 1 million times. Robert, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us this morning.
Well, I talked to you at the end of your show 2 weeks ago because you were talking about gutless four cylinders and, all that.
Yes,
and
yes.
We bought a 2016 Subaru Outback just over 3 years ago. And a couple of months after we bought it, we went to the mountains, Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg, North Carolina, whatever. And we used an air conditioner, pardon me, and my wife has got a heavy foot. We averaged 39.1 miles per gallon in the mountains using AC.
Wow.
And we had no problem going through Atlanta in the high occupancy lane. And she was driving about 105 miles an hour, and all that included.
I'm not surprised. I've been there.
But it's my second Subaru. I mean, the first one I bought was 1980. It was a 1976, and they only wanted $600 for it. And I asked the dealer, what's wrong with it? He said, it burns a quart of oil every 100 miles. I said, really? He said, yeah, really. So I had it for about 3 months between oil and spark plugs, man. I was going broke. And a buddy of mine's girlfriend said, you ever call the dealer to see if there's a recall? I said, duh, no. I did. They did.
How would you know? So Robert, that's one of those, how would you know? I mean, it's like, it's not a secret recall, but it's certainly not in the headlines of the Washington Post. But anyway, please continue.
Well, anyway, this is 1980. This is before, computers and PC and internet and all that kind of crap.
Right.
But we've got about 45,000 miles on the car now, and it's absolutely flawless. And it's got get up and go. And I didn't think I was going to like that Cvt transmission, but I like it a lot. It's a little slow off the line, but once you're moving, look out, because it'll get up and scream.
So is your car a non-turbo or turbo car?
Non-turbo. It's a
non-turbo.
4-cylinder, 2.5 liter.
So did you not?
I found out.
I'm sorry. Let me ask a question. Did you or did you not hear Miss Carol from New York calling? She's. I think this is what spurred this, if my memory serves me correctly. And by the way, Robert, we're coming up on a break, but I can hold you through the break. But she bought a new Subaru. But she's a standard transmission kind of a girl. I mean, that's the darndest thing. I mean, my daughter, of course, my daughter knew how to shift, but that's neither here nor there. And so she ordered this car, and she went in the mountains, and she really is disappointed. And I was so concerned, still am, for her, because the car's not going to gain any power. It is what it is, and from her description, especially when she had a couple of passengers in the car, it really is. It was a dog. I mean, to hear her say that was my word, but that's what we say when this is a dog, or a sled, or it has no guts and no power.
Well, it turns out the Cvt transmission has been banned in Formula One racers because you stay at the high end of the torque curve all the time that you're running, and that would take care. We had absolutely no problem going up and down grades in North Carolina and Tennessee. None.
Wow.
And we got 39.1 miles per gallon.
So Robert, there's the music, which means Fabio says, get out. So why don't you hang with me, and folks, call us 888-227-2546. We'll be back. heated seats, backup cameras, and start-stop technology. Just a few of the electrical demands we put on today's cars. AGM or absorbent glass mat batteries are up to the challenge. They're precision engineered to offer the ultimate combination of power, durability, and reliability. Short-distance driving means your battery is not fully recharging. AGM batteries are more efficient than traditional flooded batteries when partially charged. They consume less power from the alternator. AGM, the better battery for today's vehicles. Learn more AGM advantages at autobatteries.com.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
October is Fall Car Care Month. There's no better time to perform a thorough check of vehicle maintenance items before harsh weather hits. Check your battery and its charging system, as colder weather can strain both. Keep battery terminals free of dirt, grime, and oxidation to ensure a clean connection and a stronger charge. Clean and flush your cooling system, as new coolant will help rid your radiator of rust, dirt, and sludge, and will help prevent your engine from overheating. Daylight savings means it's a good time to check all exterior and interior lights and make sure the headlights are properly aimed and the lenses are clear. Winter is an especially important time to check your exhaust system for carbon monoxide leaks, as windows are more likely to be closed during this time of year. For more great tips, videos, and recommended service schedules, visit carcare.org. And while you're there, order a free copy of the Car Care Guide for your glove box. That's carcare.org.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
The airlines like to have sales. Summer getaway sales, holiday sales, winter sales. Truth is, at any moment, some airline somewhere is on sale with low fares to great destinations. Travelocity knows exactly what's going on, who's on sale, to where, and when, at over 700 airlines worldwide. We even have this nifty feature that lets you look at a calendar so that you can see exactly the days the great fares are available. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere. AOL keyword, travel.
Hun, guess my temperature.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep.
Come on, one guess.
I'm 98.
Higher.
Higher at 99.
You're getting warmer. Wait, I'm getting warmer.
Cold symptoms keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Get NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100?
Yes. Tell her what she's won, Bob.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I had to think where we were. It is Saturday. So after a long week of work, or one of the other, Saturdays from 10 till noon, I get to come into this really, really nice studio. It's like, it's terrific. Really, really nice studio and talk with you. So I invite you to call 888-227-2546. We're talking with Robert, who has a Subaru. So Robert, what engine is in your Subaru? I don't know that I asked that question. Oh, you hit the button? Okay, sorry about that. So I think I cut him off there. Okay, all right. So she's coming back, but we may have cut Bob off. Oh well. Oh, that's okay. He'll call back. 477-888. No, here he is. All right, let's put him back on. All right. So, Robert, you're back with us now.
It's a 2.5 four-cylinder. It's a boxer engine.
Okay.
But the thing that makes it is the constant velocity transmission.
Well, let me share my experience with that. I have not driven. Your car's what? The 16?
Yeah.
Okay. I have not driven that specific automobile. I have driven many Nissan Muranos, which were notorious for CVT failures. So much so that at one point in time, and I know this because of a technician that worked with Nissan. 1 week, he put in 12 CVT transmissions in cars that came off of the truck from the factory, and before they were sold, they replaced the transmission. Now, so that was not a recall, but it was an update from the OEM, and what that's called is a stop sale. So whenever there's an issue with a new car and the factory knows it, they issue a national stop sale. An example of that was in 2013, they issued a stop sale for an XJ Jaguar because of the navigation system, because of mistakes that either in the program or what have you. So it's called a Corvette. They had a problem with that, and back long years ago, Ford Motor Company, when they came out with the new Thunderbird, the retro Thunderbird, which is a beautiful car, they put a stop sale on it because they had crankshaft problems. So getting back to your particular automobile, and Miss Carroll's is a 4-cylinder as well. It's an 18 model. It's a brand new car, but it's a standard transmission. Now, realizing standard transmissions have a direct connection. Once you let the clutch out, then the engine, when it moves 1/1000th of a rotation, the rear drive shaft or the front drive shaft, whatever, the gear train moves 1/1000th with it. So, and to that end, that's why you take a standard transmission and you can throw the starter away or disconnect the starter and then push the car and let the clutch out, and boop, it's going to start the engine, where you could not with an automatic transmission because the automatic transmission gets its connectivity after the engine is running, because the engine turns a pump that uses hydraulic pressure. Now, to that end, my experience with your particular CVT transmission has been that there's a lot of noise but no go until you back off the throttle. You don't feel it in the seat of your pants like that. So I'm not a fan of the CVT transmission, but so I'm really interested in how does that, to the seat of your pants, how does it, do you feel torque, and do you feel like the car is moving as you accelerate? Not necessarily drag race. I'm talking about during that modest or moderate acceleration, because my experience there's a lot of engine noise, but not a real pulling away in torque delivery.
Well, if you floor it after you get moving, you're going to get a little bit of noise. But for the most part, I mean, she can start out. Well, I get to drive it every once in a while, and once you get going, if you're doing 25 miles an hour and you want to speed up to 55, it doesn't take long at all. And again, I don't know if all CVT transmissions are this way or not, but you're constantly at the high end of the torque curve. And when we were going through the mountains, I was amazed. Going up the hills. Right. I mean, and Interstate 40 through the mountains, the speed limit is 75 miles an hour, and people are doing 85, 90.
Wow. And
nobody was passing us. So, and we got 39 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, well, that's truly amazing. And the only thing I can say is, number one, Subarus are great cars. And it has been also my experience that when you have a Subaru owner, and I say that from our customer database, and we have a huge customer database, obviously, that we've gathered over. We've been in business 47 years in automotive service, but our customer database records started in 2004 when we bought our new software system. But to that end, there's some 13,000 names, addresses, phone numbers, data in our customer list. So it's a significant part of the heart. It's the heart of our company, really, because more than 50% of our business is repeat business. So, but getting back to that, for every Subaru owner that I can think of, there's been at least 2, if not 4 Subarus in the family, because when you get when you or your wife is finished with this car, and if you have young children or relatives, you'll probably pass the car down to them because you'll just want a new car, and it won't be really anything major wrong with the one that you're driving. That has been my experience. Now, having said that, the CVT transmissions, which is what we're speaking of, folks, here, which a CV transmission is an automatic transmission, but not in the sense of gear changes or clutch applications, because there is no clutch in a CVT. There's a steel linked chain that runs between two pulleys that stay at a constant distance apart, but the pulleys, one pulley shrinks while the other expands, and anytime you shrink a pulley and you bring the sides in, whatever's in that pulley is pushed to the outer, and you make it a larger circumference. So that's how that works. And there's some lawnmowers that I had seen years ago that used belts that have a similar gear multiplication. And so in the CVT transmission, that chain goes around. It's a linked chain, but it doesn't have any teeth. It rides on the walls of a V of the pulley. And to that end, ironically, and for you techies out there, the chain doesn't pull itself around with a puller. It pushes each link. So it's like a building block, and one block pushes the other block. The drive gear pushes the chain link, and that chain link then pushes the other pulley around. So I just found it's so interesting to me, Robert, to hear. Of course, with Miss Carroll's, hers was a standard transmission, and she had to. I think if you listened, and I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that call?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
and that's what prompted me to call, because the last year, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, the last year that Subaru offered a standard transmission was not the 218, but the 216 in the Forester only. So she may have gotten her years screwed up. But the reason why they went to before they had the CVT, they had a 6-speed automatic, which people were very happy with. But once you drive this CVT, it's the only thing I don't like about it when you back up and you go from reverse to drive. There's a momentary hesitation in the transmission. Other than that, and the entertainment center is too complicated.
Wow.
So, but it's a great car. I called you last year about it. I've got an 03 Tundra that I bought new, and I wasn't having any problems with it. I just asked your opinion. And it's almost 16 years old now.
Well, I thought I'm sorry, I'm confused. You're talking about a 2016 car or a 16-year-old car?
No, my truck is a 16-year-old truck.
Okay, all right.
No, the Subaru is a 2016.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the way, 20 years ago, you talked about the Formula One and CVT transmissions. 20 years ago, the Williams Formula One team actually tested a CV transmission in a Renault-powered, or Renault. I say Renault, you say Renault. You know the deal. Anyway, the problem with the technology in racing cars, it was the difficulty of finding a strong enough, steel belt that you could put 850 horsepower from the F1 engine. So it was really different at that time. And, like you said, and to that very end is what you were talking about. Instead of the revs going up and down and then in each corner, they could keep that rev and they could lower the gear. They could keep the revs up high. And that's really, regardless of any speed, if you have a computer controlled or a driver controlled, which is a combination of both, I'm sure in this, you could always keep the engine in its sweet spot. And therein lies, and I won't get into all that, but sweet spot is a very misunderstood. And if I said sweet spot to you, and according to our conversation we're having here, you would think, and as you do right now from what I'm hearing, that your engine is staying in a higher rev situation, and that is its sweet spot. And you would be you would be correct, but technically that sweet spot is not where you might think that it is. As fate would have it, let's do a conference call. So as fate would have it, Miss Carol has obviously heard our conversation, and she's going to join us online. So Robert, Carol from New York, you know if you've been listening, Robert's on the line. So welcome, glad to have you. And
Thank you. I was intently listening. What does he think? Is this the turnip truck I just got off of? I've been driving standard shift since 1960, on the column, on the floor, whatever. And I have had cars with 1,500, cc's and whatever, and this has never happened before.
Yeah, I understand.
I got a car mixed up. He thinks I don't know if I'm driving
No, wait. Now stop. By the way, we've got a break coming up, and we also have, and Fabio's already reached out to Gerald Wicklund. So if you'd like to both hold in there or call, but I've got to take Robert because he's calling from CarStar, and then I could come back after the break and after the interview. So stay with us all. We recently sat down with Kate Searlick, Global Product Management Lead with Johnson Controls. Kate talked about the advantages of AGM batteries, noting they outperform traditional flooded batteries when partially charged, a key benefit if your normal driving consists of shorter trips. Let's hear from Kate.
Today's charging systems are not negatively affected by installing an AGM battery, and no modifications are needed for the alternator or the charging system. In fact, an AGM battery actually performs better when partially charged than a standard flooded battery. This means if you're not driving long enough distances to fully charge the battery, an AGM battery more efficiently performs and not consume additional power from the alternator. We were able to validate this in fleet testing we conducted in Las Vegas, where we witnessed AGM batteries providing up to twice the service life of a standard flooded battery.
AGM batteries help meet the electrical demands put on today's vehicles, and Johnson Controls is the world's largest producer of automotive AGM batteries. Learn more at autobatteries.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Waking up can be a chore, but mornings knocking on my front door. Know just what I'll do. Put on a pot of Folgers brew. Mountain grown aroma hits the spot. Helps me give all that I've got. An opportunity to start out smiling and happy. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I'm privileged to be involved with Capstone Adaptive Learning, formerly known as United Cerebral Palsy, for over 25 years. Since 1953, Capstone has provided quality care programs for persons with developmental disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. Dr. Sherry White with her team are dedicated to Capstone's clients, and 100% of your contributions stay local to serve those in this community. Go to capstoneadaptivelearning.org to see the difference Capstone makes.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets, they're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Great program today. Great weekend this weekend. With us today on Bobby Likis Car Clinic is Gerald Wicklund of CarStar. Folks, CarStar was founded in 1989 on the belief that a network of high-quality collision repair facilities would be a great benefit for consumers and welcomed by the insurance industry. CarStar is now North America's largest multi-shop owner network with more than 600 stores in 35 states and 10 Canadian provinces. Since I can imagine most all of Car Clinic listeners and viewers have been involved in a fender bender or worse, I'm glad to have Gerald on the Car Clinic show today with us to give us some advice about how to go about choosing the best collision repair. Gerald owns CarStar Wicklund in Liberty, Missouri. Gerald, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get started. Tell our Car Clinic listeners and viewers, what should drivers look for when choosing a collision repair shop?
Well, the first thing I would recommend is, if you walk in the door and you have to kick the dog to get him off the chair so that you can sit down or talk to somebody, you might want to turn around and walk back out.
I think this is going to be great information, folks. Please continue.
Second thing is, when the person who is doing the damage assessment, they need to make sure and explain the repair process and the damage report written in a way that you can understand it, because too many shops out there will use terminology that's not common to the public. It's common to the insurance industry and the auto body shops, but not common to the average person.
Understood. So once the decision then is made, are there any things to consider before the repair process actually starts?
Before, I would ask for a shop tour. We encourage our estimators to take a customer back and explain the process that the car goes through, because we have customers come in with a $5,000 or $8,000 repair and they think we should be done with it by the end of the week. And once a consumer goes through the process of a shop tour, we can explain the process, and then they understand that, hey, now they understand why it takes longer to repair a car than what their perception was before they started.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I know unfortunately, I've had accidents. I think all of our Car Clinic listeners and viewers at one time, as I said earlier on, have. Generally speaking, the severity of the crash, of course, demands the time and the input. Do CarStar stores deal directly with the insurance company, and do they take the load off of an owner? I'm saying that from a personal standpoint, and I'm sure there are a lot of folks out there who would like to know how that process works.
Well, we have customers come in that are in their 60s and 70s and never had an accident in their life. They're coming to us because they've heard that they can trust us. We're a family-owned business, family-owned and operated for almost 50 years. And we are into our 30th year of CarStar at this point. Wow. Back to my point I was trying to make about the customer that comes in. They're in their 60s or 70s, never had an accident. They get in the door, they're all shook up. And what we try to do is get them to relax. We actually have chairs that are massage chairs. So while we're writing the damage report, they can get a massage and relax, and they put their trust in us to not only repair the vehicle right, put it in a pre-accident condition that I'd be proud to put my grandchildren in.
Wow.
And that's the way every repair done. Now, when we explain the process, we are going out there with the customer at the car and have them show all the damage. While we're doing that, we're also walking around the car and pointing out any other things they may not be aware of. Then we bring them back in and they watch us put it in the computer system when they prefer to. Some of them just want to get a massage. And others, they want to know every little bolt and so forth that goes into repair. We have cars that actually they'll come in and they'll think, well, we just need a bumper replaced. And then once they see that there's 30, 40 pieces in that bumper and we explain all those parts that could be damaged, they realize real soon that they're not just out for an estimate, they're actually out to get their car repaired. And that's where we can take over and take care of the process with the insurance company on their behalf to put the car back to pre-accident condition.
Folks, we're talking with Gerald Wicklund, owner of CarStar Wicklund in Liberty, Missouri. But again, we're talking about a company here that has more than 600 CarStar stores nationwide. And Gerald, just so that we can be clear, those stores, are they company stores? Are they individually owned? How does that work?
All the franchisees of CarStar are franchisees. There are no corporate stores at this time that I'm aware of.
Got it. Now, let's fast forward. So you've repaired my car. I had a pretty severe accident. Maybe it was $6,000 or $8,000, maybe even larger than I thought, just because of the natures of today's cars. I'm in, or one of your customers comes in to pick up their vehicle after repair. So is that like a little quick in and out process? Or if it's not, why?
Well, first of all, my preference is to, when I see the customer drive up, just meet them at the car. Now, if I'm on the phone and they come in and go through the delivery process, the first thing I want to do before they even sign anything, I want to go out with the customer to the car and explain one more time what we did to repair their vehicle back to pre-accident condition and walk around the vehicle. So that way they don't get home and then they say, oh, well, what's this? So they understand everything we did. We're up front. We explain the estimate or damage report, final bill, in a way that they can understand it. Too many shops use the terms R&ID and R, and that customers are like, what was that? And they don't want to ask or feel like they're stupid and not understand. The shop needs to slow down and explain the damage report in words that they understand. Once that's done and they've looked at the gaps, they've made, looked for anything visual, compound, it's a good idea to go ahead and lift the hood and check out what's underneath the hood. Is it clean? A lot of times the shop will not, they'll put buffing compound or splatter inside the hood. Customer goes to change their oil a couple weeks later and they look underneath there and they see all these white specks. What do they think? It's got overspray all over it. Usually it's not overspray. It can be, but it's generally compound that they didn't bother cleaning up their mess that they made while doing the repairs of the vehicle.
Well, sounds like a very thorough process. Should you give us, you mentioned gaps. What are the top things that folks should consider when they're looking at their car? Because people really don't know what to look for. So give us a couple of, like, for instance, the gap between what and other, just an overview of the finished product.
Well, first of all, most cars that are sold in the United States are not perfect from the factory. Let's get that perfectly clear.
Okay.
But when you do look at your car and all of a sudden there is a wider gap or at the bottom of a fender and a narrower gap at the top or vice versa, if you go to open the door and it drags, you can push the door in real slowly and see if the door goes in smooth or not. And if it doesn't, check the other side that wasn't hit and see if it is comparable. That makes a lot of sense. So you actually can, by looking at the part of the car that was not damaged, you can, that really tells a lot as to part of the car that has been recently repaired. Sounds to me like CarStar has not only procedures and policies, but there's a lot of communication that goes on. Where can our CarConnect listeners go to learn more about CarStar? CarStar.com, or you can dial 1-800-CarStar. You can go to our website at carstar.com and put in your zip code and find shops that are within 10-mile radius real easily. Again, folks, that's carstar.com. Go to the website, put in your zip code, and you'll locate a CarStar affiliate within an area of your own hometown. And if you have any questions, 1-800-CarStar is really easy. Gerald, how long have you been in the business? Well, I helped out, started getting my dad's way, you could call it, when I was about 8 years old. Always wanted to follow him around and learn what he did. And he had the patience to help me through that process for many years, all the way from welding to repairing and painting the car, repairing frames. It's been a learning process, and now I have third generation CarStar, 2 sons and a daughter that are all in the business, helping us put happy faces on customers and put cars back to pre-accident condition. And I'd like to make a comment. We do a lot of things civically in the Liberty and Kansas City metropolitan area. We do a military and first responder appreciation celebration coming up November 8th. That starts at 5 o'clock. We invite all the veterans. We actually invite their families also. And the police officers, sheriff's department, firemen, they're all invited in. We bring in a smoked hog, pizza, lots of door prizes, live entertainment. This will be our 9th year this year, and we're looking to have over 300 people. The most we've ever had is 333, and I'm looking to surpass that this year.
What other events are you involved with there?
Well, our Liberty Sertoma Club also helps out the community Christmas tree. That's where we box up food and the schools come together and we distribute that at the first part of December to 70 plus families in the Northland area of Liberty. We also help out Hillcrest Hope. We do a trap shoot. We do wine tasting, all kinds of different fundraisers to raise monies for the Liberty area.
Terrific. That's terrific. So obviously you're involved in the community, you're involved in the military, you're involved in running the business, as is your family. So suffice it to say that Wickland CarStar is a significant place of business there in Liberty, Missouri. Gerald, terrific to have you on Bobby Likis Car Clinic today. Folks, again, Gerald Wickland, owner of CarStar Wickland in Liberty, Missouri. But you can find more information about CarStar at carstar.com. Gerald, thank you so much for giving us your time, for sharing the information about you, your family, and CarStar and all of the great assets that your company provides. Thank you again for joining us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic today.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to also thank Robert and Miss Carol for holding. I had that scheduled, and he was only available at that particular time. So let's go back to, in fact, we're going to put Carol from New York on the line also, and we're going to put Robert on the line as well. Robert has a 16 Subaru standard CVT transmission. And Miss Carol, just so we clear the air, I want you to know that the conversation wasn't about your driving. I mean, we know you know how to drive. The conversation.
No, not about the driving. He thought I was mistaken about what year vehicle I had.
Oh, no. I was mistaken about what vehicle he had, because he was talking about a 16-year-old vehicle, and then he was talking about a 2016. But here's what the conversation's about. It's all about our conversation that you and I had a couple of weeks ago. First, let me say this. A standard transmission, think of it this way. A standard transmission is like the buttons on a shirt. You have a button spaced every so often. And depending on actually, you could customize that and have one 4 inches apart, one 3, one 2. It depends on the application and the dress. Now, conversely, a CVT transmission would be like having a zipper. So there's no spacing. It's all infinitely adjustable. And there's the difference between a CVT transmission, because it has no gears in it, and it's infinitely ratio adjusting real time. And there is the difference between, and why he is experiencing such great success with his Subaru, because it is not a button here, button there, or gear here, next gear here. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, because this is your statement, you had to shift this vehicle down into third gear going over some of the mountains there in New York. And Robert's had kind of an opposite experience. Neither one of your cars are turbocharged, and so it seems like to me that his, of course, and Robert, is that a correct overview?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so go ahead, Robert.
Well, I mean, a couple of months after we bought the car, we went into the Smokies, the Carolinas, Gatlinburg, and all that. I grew up in that part of the country, even though I live in Florida now, and the car was flawless. And then we went up and down, had AC. We were doing 85, 90 miles an hour coming to Atlanta, and the HO lane, my wife's doing 100, 105.
Wow.
And we averaged 39.1 miles per gallon.
So, Miss Carol, what's your experience? I mean, not at 100 miles an hour, but what's your experience? I mean, just the brief restatement of your experience, because it's not good.
Well, it's great on the flat. As a matter of fact, the engine is so quiet that I was reaching 80 and 82 without even realizing that I was, because there was no stress sound coming from the engine.
Right. But in the mountains, it's a different story.
Oh, my God. Well, it's one of those things, I guess I was lucky. I had been on that same road earlier, and it didn't seem to have that problem. But I don't understand why all of a sudden, I was like at 100% acceleration because they have that dashboard display, you know, in real time and overall MPG,
Right.
and then the percentage of acceleration. I had that thing floored at 100% because I looked at it and I go, really? And I didn't seem to be gaining anything at 100% acceleration.
Well, you know, folks, it's really, I love the technology that we use that I can put the two of you together. I could actually put two more people on the air and there'd be five of us. But unfortunately, we're out of time for this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. But Miss Carol, you hang in there and feel free to call me back when, I think you were going to go back to the dealer and have them to road test with you and to see if they could find some more power of your vehicle. It's possible. It's possible. There's a timing issue. I don't think so. I doubt it. But it's possible. And Robert, I sure thank you for remembering Miss Carol and for you calling today. And I wish both of you nothing but success with your Subaru. In the meantime, another great hour coming up right here on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this hour, so come back and give us a call soon. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Coolant leaks can be expensive, with repairs costing a few $1,000s or more. And these problems often hit vehicles late in life when they may be only worth a few $1,000s. There is an alternative. K-Seal is a pour-in solution designed to stop leaks and help prevent future leaks. Older sealers use sodium silicate, which has a tendency to clog the system. K-Seal features ceramic technology that's designed to repair the leak without clogging. Learn more about K-Seal at kseal.com. Don't just seal it, K-Seal it. HEST, or high-energy solvent technology, is what differentiates Berryman products from other additives, providing a more complete combination of available chemical technologies. But don't take our word for it. Here's a testimonial from Olivia. Her 99 Infiniti Q45 with 170,000 miles was starting to hesitate and lag. After doing her research, Olivia decided on Berryman's B12 Chem Tool. According to her, the product works great and it's less expensive. Great value. Learn more about Berryman products and their HEST technology at berrymanproducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
If you're familiar with the Cvt section of the newspaper, you probably understand this message quite well. You see, in the Cvt section, everything gets abbreviated. Consonants, vowels, prepositional phrases, the very building blocks of our language are thrown right out the window. And that makes it difficult when you're trying to sell your car. You've got a limited amount of space to work with, and by the time you abbreviate the description of your car down to a couple of fragmented sentences, it sounds less like a car and more like a Bluck sedan with sniffed like new condition lumels. No wonder more people are selling their cars through eBay Motors. They can post unlimited text and photo descriptions, and with a nationwide marketplace, they're likely to sell it for more. Plus, both parties can be covered by eBay's Vehicle Protection Program. Buyers are happy, sellers are happy, and no one's abbreviating. eBay Motors, a better way to sell your car.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And a special welcome to this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. We've already put 1 hour in the books, and we are just inviting you to join us for the second hour. And every Saturday, just mark your handy-dandy calendar from 10 till noon Eastern Time. We come to you on your local AM and or FM radio stations, and we're proud of our affiliate list across the United States. And also, we're available at Watch Bobby Live. I forget, I take that for granted. No, I don't take it for granted, but I just don't remember to advise you. You can go to watchbobbylive.com and actually look into the studio real time with HD on our Bobby Likis Car Clinic YouTube channel with our partnership with on our Google agreement there. So it's great to have you. We already have callers in the queue, so it's going to be a fast hour. I advise you to call now, 888-227-2546. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part by the Car Care Council, reminding you that October is Fall Car Care Month. You can visit carcare.org and learn how you can keep your vehicle safe, dependable, and on the road longer. Again, that's carcare.org. Your calls, our car talk. When I come back, don't touch that dial. We recently worked on an 03 Buick Park Avenue with a 3.8 engine, and the vehicle had been a workhorse, 190,000 miles and more. That said, fuel economy had slipped from 24 mpg to 19. On cold startup, the check engine light flashed. In addition to rough idling, engine fuel trim pointed toward carbon issues. A quick scan revealed random misfire code P0300. The codes were cleared, and after a visual inspection of the ignition system and fuel filter change, we added a can of Berryman B12 Chem Tool to a fresh tank of fuel. After a 400-mile round trip and a second can of Berryman B12 Chem Tool, fuel economy was back to 24 miles per gallon and idle quality was restored. Many times, complex running issues are traced to carbon issues on today's vehicles. Fuel system maintenance starts with simple tank additives as the first step in carbon cleaning your engine. The next time your vehicle is sluggish or experiencing fuel economy that's not up to par, try Berryman B12 Chem Tool. Learn more at berrymanproducts.com. That's berrymanproducts.com. Car repairs get expensive, and most of us don't have spare money for them. That's where brands like K-Seal really can be a lifesaver. A leaking freeze plug is definitely cause for concern. The plugs seal the cooling system and are a common cause of leaks on aging engines. And while the plugs themselves are not terribly expensive, replacement can be a tedious job. It's because most freeze plugs are difficult to gain access to, not to mention the fact that you have to drain and refill the entire cooling system. All of this ultimately makes for an expensive repair. So what can you do if your vehicle is only worth a few $1,000s? That's where K-Seal comes in. Pour K-Seal into the cooling system, and it will work to seal the system as you drive. Never clogs up. It also stays in the system and can help prevent future leaks as well. We've used K-Seal on many cars in our shop and have had great results. Find K-Seal at automotive retailers nationwide and get more information at kseal.com. That's kseal.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
Car dealers like playing games. They play percentage points, they play markups, but I don't like playing with my money. So I got my auto loan through LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form, a marketplace of banks and lenders competed over it, and I got 4 offers back within hours. After all, the car buying game is a lot easier to win when you're holding all the cards.
LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, folks, we're going to kick off the program from the center of the automotive universe, the Car Clinic studios, and we're going to travel to Texas. And Andrew is patiently waiting. Andrew, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you so much for your patience, and glad to have you in the house.
Hi, Bobby. Thanks for taking our call. Really enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What can I do for you?
My wife has a 2012 Ford Explorer XLT 3.5 liter V6 with 130,000 miles on it.
Okay.
Starting a couple, 3 months ago, she's experienced an issue where when trying to do a high-speed pass uphill, so basically engine under load, accelerating, it will start missing, lugging down, not quite stall out, but definitely lose power and engine ability to function. The check engine light will flash. If she lets off the gas, it will improve and go back to normal functioning, but it only happens basically on a high-speed pass uphill, usually with some weight on the car. We've done a fuel system flush. We've tried running some B12. It's gotten a little bit better, but it still does it relatively consistently, kind of erratically under those conditions. And so we're trying to decide if this is an electrical system problem or a fuel system problem or just what exactly we're seeing.
Well, from what you're saying, number one, let me say this. Check engine light on is one thing. Engine light flashing is an immediate back off. You got a problem. So that's the that is the ECM, that's the electronic control module telling the driver stop, or change or seek help. So that's bad news. But the good news is that really sets a fault code. And so have you had the codes read in this vehicle? Have you had any certified, knowledgeable technician to look at what's going on?
We have. It hasn't left any code trail for them to follow, and so the response we've got is that, well, we have to have something replicatable to make any judgments with it. I did recently pull a code myself after the last incident.
Right.
It was a P0491.
And what was that in 491? Did you search
491 is secondary air injection system insufficient flow, bank 1.
Okay, then, let me back up. I do not understand this because I don't believe this. I believe there's a lack of communication or that somehow the code was removed. Anytime check engine light flashes, there is a hard code. There is a real challenge that the computer says, danger, Will Robinson. I mean, there's no question about it. And there will be evidence in that computer. So I'm not sure that the person that read that code was using a, quote, phone reader or an auto parts store reader, one of those inexpensive $35 tools. I mean, and the difference, Andrew, without being verbose, is you and I are enjoying coffee at a coffee shop. We look across the street and the house is on fire. And you tell me the house is on fire, and I'm a firefighter. I got to say, which room? Where did it start? So there is the difference between reading a code and going into the architecture of the vehicle. So just for your information, the individual that told you if he's a trained service professional that there was no code, find somebody else. So that's number one. Number two, that air injection is a device that is used for emissions control, and there could be restriction in the exhaust flow that is causing that. There could be electronic issues. Of course, if there were electronic issues, of course, it's funny you got the code. And so I would definitely check that first. And I would also check fuel pressure of the vehicle, because if you drive any late model automobile, late model being 20 years, 97 and up, and the light's flashing, that's as I said, without repeating myself, that means there's something really serious going on there. And let's break it down to the lay terms. Hey, the car won't run top end, and top end means wide open throttle. Give me all the fuel and all the air you got, and it's also for the exhaust to say, oh, I got to spit out everything that's coming in, and everything that goes out is bigger than what goes in, because air expands, and that's why exhaust is hot and bigger. So I would for sure check for the O2 sensor readings and fuel. Let me give you these two things, and then you can find the service shop. I'll tell you where to find one. O2 sensor readings in real time, both post and pre-cat. That means the one in the front of the cat and the one behind the cat. So there's two sensors there. So that's what you want to know. And fuel trim. And fuel trim is the history of the adjustment that the vehicle makes as the computer needs and sees the fuel-air ratio. That's how many gallons of air to 1 part fuel. And let me simplify that. If you're my lawn care guy and my company, and it's in the winter, you say, well, Bobby, I'm going to come out to your place of business and I'm going to cut your grass once a month. And that's fine. But if it's summertime, your schedule is going to be once a week because of the growth of the grass. Okay, so that would be a trim, no pun intended, that would be a trim schedule. Your vehicle and every vehicle on the market today has a fuel trim history. Even with no codes, no lights, and no problems, the fuel trim history, the computer's monitoring whether it's winter or summer and how often it has to change and how far out of schedule. And if it's a summer schedule and the car has gone 2 weeks without a trim, the computer says, hey, wait, the grass is too tall here. And it's out of the window, the threshold. You got me? It really is that simple. So that's the two things that you need check, and that'll get you to the next lily pad, and then you call me back from there.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So let's go from Texas to New York. Scott, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Yeah, I have a 2005 Chevy Trailblazer.
Okay.
And it's my daughter's car.
Right.
And she's got a problem with the fan for the defrost and the air conditioning and whatnot. It's a 5-speed fan, but it just recently started only working on the 5th speed. It doesn't work on any of the other speeds.
Okay. That's relatively simple. It is the rheostat, the resistor pack for the blower motor. And just for you to know, a resistor pack is like a dimmer switch in your den, where if 9 o'clock on the dimmer switch is all the way off, and then you rotate the knob, and just like a radio volume control, a potentiometer is really what it is. As you turn the knob from 9 to 10 to 11 to 12, your light starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and finally you go to 3 o'clock and they're bright all the way. So the problem with that is, and the reason that it works on high, max only, is that the rheostat can't provide the current that the fan needs to blow wide open. So in all speeds, it uses the dimmer switch or the rheostat or the resistor pack. However, when you go to max, it bypasses that unit because that unit can't supply the voltage, and it hooks the battery directly to the blower motor as if you had a jumper cable. So that's an oversimplification, but that's the way it works. So I would have a shop test and verify the resistor pack for the blower motor, and that's going to take care of your problem.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for calling, New York, Scott.
I love your show.
Thank you. Appreciate your kind words. What did he say, Fabio? What did he say?
Appreciate your kind words.
No, what did he say after that? What did he say?
Thank you.
He said, I love your show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, duh. Okay, duh. That sure is nice to hear. Let's go to Fred in Texas. Fred, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
How you doing?
Well, I love your show. What am I going to tell you? I think it's terrific. At least you didn't say you got a pretty good idea there. Yeah, hey, we all like a pat on the back every once in a while, and so thank you for calling. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I've got a 2008 Mercury Grand Marquis.
Okay.
And my instrument lights in the dash won't come on. They go on and off sometime, and it tells me that I'm my trunk's open, which is not. My doors are open, which is not. And then you'll be going down the road, and it works my electrical door light.
Yeah.
And they'll come on and off.
Okay.
And
all right, you can stop right there. There is one unit that is common to everything that you just mentioned. You got a pen? Write this down. Or I can wait. We'll wait. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
BCM, Body Control Module.
Okay.
You do not want to replace it, but I suspect, almost no, I suspect your vehicle has a body control module issue. Take it to a shop and ask them to perform a test on those circuits to include the body control module. And folks, I'll be back after this break. This Engine Care Spotlight is brought to you by Walker Products, a leading manufacturer of quality fuel system components and engine sensors. Today's vehicles are being pushed to new heights with increased fuel economy and fewer tailpipe emissions, which has created the need for a smarter and more sophisticated exhaust after-treatment system, featuring an array of sensors designed to help monitor and control the different aspects of vehicle operation and health. The EGT, or exhaust gas temperature sensor, plays a major role in multiple processes, and it's critical that the EGT is performing within their limits. But not all EGT sensors are created equal. Housing styles and materials vary, in addition to resistance types and temperature ratings. It's imperative that a consumer replace their EGT sensor with a correct OEM factory-style sensor. Walker Products has been supplying the automotive aftermarket since 1946 and manufactures all of its EGTs using only OEM-based sensors. Need a new sensor? Walker Products offers OE quality at aftermarket prices. Drive to walkerproducts.com. Berryman Products is celebrating their 100th anniversary, providing innovative products to the automotive aftermarket, like Berryman Chem Dip carburetor parts cleaner that helps remove gum, varnish, fuel residue, and other harmful deposits from carburetor parts and throttle bodies without heat, aeration, or agitation. Berryman Chem Dip carburetor parts cleaner is safe to use with most plastic and metal carburetor and throttle body parts, including steel and aluminum alloys. Learn more at berrymanproducts.com.
What 100-year-old automotive company makes dozens of products to extend your vehicle's life and improve its performance?
Let me see.
Which company uses high-energy solvent technology, or HEST?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
What company introduced B12 Chem Tool over 40 years ago? Still the best fuel system cleaner on the market?
Oh, don't tell me it's
Berryman Automotive Products. Correct. Berryman Automotive Products has lubricants, cleaners, solvents, hundreds of solutions, and every product all American-made since 1918. You'll find Berryman Automotive Products at AutoZone, Pep Boys, and Walmart. Now, why would you buy anything else?
You sure ask a lot of questions.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Telephone tip.
From Geico Auto Insurance.
When calling Geico to switch your car insurance, you will not need acetaminophen, naproxen, indomethacin, ibuprofen, a cold compress, an on-call acupuncturist, or any other pain remedy. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more. If it were any more painless, you could do it in your sleep, which is theoretically possible since we offer complete 24-hour service. Call 1-800-947-AUTO, 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
When you purchase the latest TV, tablet, or smartphone, don't forget to do the right thing with your old ones. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old devices as easy as buying new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find recycling tips, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Don't let your old tech tools clog your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And folks, 1 of every 4 batteries will fail this winter. And you can get yours tested for free during Super Start Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And if it needs to be replaced, O'Reilly will have the Super Start battery that fits your car. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices, every day. Let's go to Rick in New York. Rick, thank you for holding. And folks, the number is 888-227-2546 for you to get in now. Rick, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Bobby. I've got a 2004 Buick Park Ave, and the door kept on making a loud crack noise every time I opened it, the driver's door.
Right,
So I went online. I'm not a mechanic. Looked it up, and the suggestion was it was a door check.
Right.
Went online and did a YouTube search because I don't know a lot about mechanics. Found out how to take the door panel apart, how to get the door check out. Took it out.
Okay.
Went to a salvage yard, got a used one, put it in, did the same thing. So I assume that probably it's something that is normal with this type of car. I bought the car at $40,000, didn't do a thing like that, and now at $78,000 it's starting to do it. So went online, checked $106 or something like that. Yeah, it was for a new one, and shipping and stuff, $116. Didn't want to spend it, but knew I wasn't going to go to the salvage yard again. Bought it, put it in. It's been in about a month. Now the thing's starting to click again. What am I missing?
Well, number one, let's look at what you did. You unbolted the original door check and put in a used one and had the same noise. Then you went back in and unbolted the used one, the second used one, and put a new one in. And after you did that, that noise went away for a while.
Yes.
Yes. So I can't help but believe that it's got to be a hinge problem versus a door check problem. And Rick, just for your information, of all of the things that aggravate me about automobiles, other than warped rotors, which is a real turnoff for me, even slightly warped rotors, it's squeaky hinges or door checks that pop. So what you have to see and have to know is that when you have the door check out and you move the door open and close the door, of course you don't want to go too far, because the door check not only holds the door open, it stops the door from going too far when it's opened. And you don't have to take it back apart, but what I would do is I would work the door. When does it pop? I mean, when you first open it or during a swing out? There are two, let me back up. There are two positions that the door check holds the door. A light, small person opening, and for a big guy, you have to open the door all the way, and so the door check will hold the door at midway open or all the way open as far as it's designed to go. Which one and where does it pop, or do you know?
Yes, they pop on both. I open the door wide open. I'm 6'3", 200 some pounds. But at any rate, both of them pop on the way out and in.
Okay, so then my suggestion would be to do this. With someone else, you're a big guy, but I guess you could sit in the driver's seat, and so you could be, your mass would be inside the car. Have someone open the door, and you put your hand on the upper hinge and or the lower hinge and on the door check, and so you do it three or four times, and you feel the, which you should never hit a mic, but that's what you're feeling for, and you will be able to feel the location of the biggest pop. That makes sense? Now, obviously, they're not going to close the door on your hand, but you're going to open and close, open and close, open and close, and you're going to, oh, I got this. Well, wait a minute, let me feel the top one. Let me feel, and you will feel I mean, if I walk up to your door at your home and you're standing by your door and I knock on the base of your door, it's going to sound different than if I knock on where your head is located. Agreed?
Correct.
Okay, so use your senses, is what I'm saying. Use your senses to determine the popping noise where it's originating from. I suspect that there's going to be, it could be something, I believe it's connected with the door check, and I believe that the only thing that you haven't touched is the part of the car that secures the hinge itself, and not the hinge within the door panel, but the door check itself. I mean, you know what I'm saying there. That's what I believe.
Right.
And there could be something so simple as a nylon bushing that is there, because when they build a car, when all the manufacturers build a car, they paint it and they put it in a big white paint room in the world, and they as a body with nothing, and then they paint it, doors and all, and then from there the body goes to the assembly line, but the doors go off the car, but they've been painted same time. The doors are removed from the car and they go to upstairs to the build room, and each door is built specifically for that car, and after the car is put together, at the very last stage, those doors come back down from the top and are hung on the car. It's very interesting to watch. And pins, of course, that are removable, so you can look at the pins for the hinge and what have you, but you probably have a hinge problem. Tell you what, just feel, use your senses and use your feel and see where that pop is coming from. You'll feel it, and if that doesn't work for you, you can use a shortened broomstick or and better yet, here's what I recommend, and I've recommended this for 27 years. You go to O'Reilly Auto Parts and you get a mechanic's stethoscope. And what is so neat about those things, they don't even cost much. And what's so neat, you can use them around the house for a lot of things. But what's so neat about those is it magnifies the little pop into a gigantic pop. And you can put it on location, and if you move it an inch off location or 4 inches off location, and you come back, you can continue as long as you can make that door pop. You can find whether it's pop like I'm on the mic, or you can find it pop like I'm away from the mic. You hear the difference? Sure you do. So that's what I want you to do, and that's what I would do if I were there with you. You got it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks for your call, Rick. Let's go to Texas, and folks, I'll invite you to call 888-227-2546. Daryl, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Would you turn your radio down, please?
Yes. Good morning, Bobby.
Morning, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Hello, Bobby. Can you hear me?
I can. Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Yes, sir. What I have is a 2015 Ford Fusion. And what's going on is here, like the last 1,000 miles, my gas tank seems to be overpressurizing or something. It sounds like it's belching.
Is that when you open the gas cap?
No. I can be driving down the road, and what's that sound? And I stop when I come up to a red light. You can hear it releasing pressure through the gas cap.
Okay, so let me hear it. I want you to make that, put you on the spot here on national radio. Make that noise. What does it sound like?
It's a bong, bong, bong.
Okay, and how many times does it do it?
It sometimes rare, not that often. There's other times it's constant.
Okay. So have you done any investigative work? I mean, have you tried, and I know this is not supposed to be done, and it'll make the check engine light come on, so what? Have you tried leaving the cap off or leaving it loose so that you know there's no pressure there?
It is a capless gas tank.
Ah, yeah, that's right. It's the NASCAR. Yeah, Ford's better idea. Well, maybe, let's see, there is pressure that is established and maintained inside the gas tank. It's small amount of pressure, but nonetheless there is pressure there because the car generates pressure even a lot of times on some cars, even when you turn the key off, walk away from the car, 5 minutes later, the car will zzz, and it will turn on a little pump and it will pressurize the tank ever so slightly, and then it will stop. And depending on how many strokes of the air pump, and that's a simplification, that it takes to reach a certain pressure, then the car knows if the tank is losing air or not. And if it's losing air, like the gas cap's off, the fault code will come on and say, gas cap. Does your car ever have a check engine light come on?
Yes. My check engine light has come on and
gone off. Yeah. See, so that I'm not surprised. So that's the bad news. Here's the good news. When it went off, whatever made it come on is still there in the code. So if you read the code and understand this, and everyone tuned in, understand this, reading a code means nothing. It's just like me saying, oh, there's a house on a fire across the street. So what? Anybody can see that. It's getting into that house to put it out. So that's the difference between reading a code and going to a service shop, whether it's a dealership or an independent ASE trained technician that has the equipment to get into the architecture of the software to determine what reading the code and what caused the code to come on to start with. So that's a to-do for you, is to take your vehicle in. Do you have a service shop that you frequent or a dealer?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
There is a dealer here about 15 miles away where I purchased the car from.
Well, I would certainly go into that dealer, and before you spend any money and it depends on how cordial they are and if they want your business. Ask the dealer. We do it online at alldata.com, and you can go to alldata, ALLDATA.com, and you can gain a lot of information. And even if you don't have a problem with your car, folks, you can go to alldata.com and determine what just might be applicable to your problem. Now, having said that, Daryl, you want to know if there are any technical service bulletins related to EVAP codes, evaporative emission codes, or issues with your car. And if you would ask your dealer, go up, and don't go at 7 o'clock in the morning when they've got all these cars lined up. Wait till about 10 o'clock one day, or 10:15 or so, after they've had their morning issues and dispatch of their cars and their cases, and then talk to one of the folks at the service desk and say, would you be so kind as to check the TSBs for my car, not for a 15 Ford Fusion, but for my car. And then you'll get that information you need. And there just may be a TSB that already has a fix, and it may be free. That's a good thing. Hey, folks, more calls when I come back at 888 Car Clinic. Talking tunes. No, not the ones on your radio, the ones that allow you to reprogram your vehicle's factory computer without even popping the hood. The result is more power, more torque, and a better overall driving experience. We recently sat down with Jim McGinn, Vice President of Marketing for PowerTech. Jim explained that performance programmers aren't just for race cars.
While Superchips Flash Pack is known for delivering impressive horsepower and torque gains on gas, diesel trucks, SUVs, and Jeep, one of the number one selling features of the product is added and increased fuel economy, whether you're towing, driving around town, or taking things off-road. The Superchips tow tune allows you to eliminate excessive downshifting, run in a higher gear, downshift less, lower your RPMs, and as a result, save fuel. The Scape has changed for performance programming, and we're not just for race cars anymore. We add vehicle performance and efficiency for trucks, SUVs, and Jeeps.
You can learn all about the new Dash Pack Plus and other great performance programmers at superchips.com. That's superchips.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
More than 1 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
We're a land of cynics. We don't believe anything anymore. You know why? Because we've been told we've won $1 million, that it's new and improved, that it slices and dices, that our favorite singer is still alive, that we'll be prosecuted if we cut off the tags, and of course that everything is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So when we hear the words customer service, we don't believe it. Travelocity isn't surprised if you're a little skeptical when they say they have excellent customer service, and that there's actually a pleasant face behind this website, a living, breathing person with a supercharged computer full of answers. Someone who's willing to help when you get lost, and most of all, someone that will actually pick up the phone when you call with a question or a concern. Customer service is just another example of how Travelocity puts you in control of travel. Chances are you'll never have to use it, but it's good to know it'll be there if you need it. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you've been listening, you heard that last caller from Texas talking about a particular problem, and I recommended he visit his dealer for technical service bulletins and other information. To that end, the question is, and I've been asked so many times, must you return to the dealer for maintenance services to maintain your manufacturer's warranty. And folks, to that end, a new video produced by the Car Care Council, that's our partners, in conjunction with the AutoNet TV media, focuses on the right of consumers to have their vehicle serviced at any automotive service and repair business they choose without affecting their warranty. And from Rich White, who is the executive director of the Car Care Council, I quote, "It's a common misconception that only car dealers can perform the routine maintenance and repairs on a newer vehicle that is under warranty. This new video outlines the truth about vehicle warranties and assures consumers that they can have routine repairs performed by their local independent repair shop or do the work themselves without affecting the warranty," end quote. And Car Care Council's latest production further explains it is the law that independent repair shops can provide services to maintain new car warranties that consumers are protected by the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. And this legislation is enforced by the Federal Trade Commission. It prohibits a manufacturer from voiding the vehicle warranty solely because the service was performed by a third party other than the dealer. So, having said that, for more information, go to carcare.org and take a look at all of the great information there. It is a not-for-profit organization of which I'm proud to be partnered with. carcare.org for more information and to know your rights. Let's go to Daryl in South Carolina. Daryl, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Yes, sir. I got a 2014 Lincoln MKZ. It's wearing the tires out on the back. It has been in the alignment shop 7 times.
Really?
4 different alignment shops. The last one told me there was nothing to be done on that car that would correct the problem. It starts wearing on the inside. If you leave them on there, it'll slick them in very few miles.
Well, okay. Let me give you. All right, go ahead.
Let me finish this.
Yeah.
I hit a curve in Lebanon, Tennessee about 2 years ago, and it had 30-something thousand miles on it. I've had 16 tires on that car, and it's got 102,000 miles.
I cannot believe. I mean, I believe you. I'm so sad to hear this. Let me just. In fact, we performed an alignment yesterday on. Actually, this gentleman who owns this vehicle works for a parts company that delivers parts to our door, so we see him multiple times every day when he needs service. I'm proud to say, and now he also delivers parts to every parts company and every dealership and every business in town. He brings his car to us, so it's a big deal for him to come in the back door. I mean, it's a normal deal for him to come in the back door and say, good morning, Vern. And then it's a really big deal for him to come in with his street clothes on and his wife to bring her car in to get it aligned. Just yesterday, Johnny Bars, our master ASE certified technician, took a look at that car because it was out of alignment specs and because they found during inspection a rear, I just heard and I was doing something else, so this is something I heard in the background. When you're in business, you try, your mind catches everything that goes on around you, even if somebody's not talking to you. So he has a bent rear arm or something on his vehicle, and they're going to make an appointment and get it back in. They're going to order the part. Having said that, it is not acceptable, obviously, to ruin tires on a car, and I do not understand how someone could not have found the camber toe-in and of the rear of your vehicle. That is not rocket science, and obviously you have a bent arm or supporting member. There's got to be a challenge. So let me give you. Go ahead.
Are the right and left side back tires, are they independent on themselves?
Yes.
Okay.
But
It's
wait, no,
wearing them exactly
wait, no. Yes, they're independent as far as going up and down because independent suspension, but they are on the same trajectory. In other words, railroad tracks are pointing in the same direction. Because if they did not, just like going to the moon, if you're a millionth of a degree off at the Earth, by the time you get to the moon, you're I don't know how many million miles, but okay, you get the point. So the tires, your rear tires have to be facing toe in, toe out, parallel, and actually they're parallel, and then they're kicked in a notch. And I say a notch, maybe 10 degrees, 10% of a degree. And the reason they are is because the reason they don't point dead straight ahead statically is because when you go down the road force tries to pull the tire back because of friction, and the tires point out. It's called toe in. That's not what's wrong with your car. I mean, that's easy to find. Somebody would have already found that. What your problem is that the rear of that vehicle is squatting, and when it squats, the tires are bow-legged, and yet if you stand up and then you put your right foot out from your left foot, you were to walk that way, you're going to wear the inside of your shoes out. Same thing for a car. So you want to know, and write this down, Daryl. You want to know, you want to see on a digital alignment rack, you want to see the camber, caster. You want to see the camber reading and the toe-in reading of the rear wheel independently and collectively, and a machine like that has a printout. We print out everything before and after. So that's what you want to see.
I got a printout on it, and the guys, every time they say it's okay.
But it's not okay. It wouldn't wear the tires.
That's right. I said, duh.
Well, they're how many different shops have you been to?
7. 4 different ones.
And they have digital
7 times at 4 different.
Well, let's see. You're in South Carolina, because if you weren't, this would be one I'd want to see personally, right here in Florida. But you got to find. Have you been to the dealer?
Yeah, just been in the dealer shop twice.
And
they did nothing. They did nothing.
What's their explanation as to why the inside of both tires wear out? That's not rocket science.
I've been told that the camber could not be set on that car.
Oh, wait now. Wait now. Yeah, that's correct. You can't be set. But at least we're getting somewhere. Is the camber that I wanted to check, and now they say, oh, we can't fix that. Hey, you got to do what you got to do on every car, whether it's within the specifications or not. That's where a true technician comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not acceptable answer. It would be like you saying to me, I tell you I had a pain in my chest. Well, they all do that. They're telling you there's no adjustment for that. Well, there is. They just haven't found. You haven't been the right person yet.
Oh, man.
I know it's tough. I feel your pain. But I can tell you something. The amount of money you're spending on tires, and just the very fact that they're telling you, well, there's nothing you can do about that. One of our greatest customers, Tool is his last name, has a Kia or a Hyundai, one of the two. And when the car was new, it drifted to the right. He and I just had this conversation 4 years later, 2 weeks ago, and that car didn't steer right. You know what we did? We drilled holes in the tower of the front suspension of that car and manually moved the front struts to correct the problem. And furthermore, I've moved the sub-chassis on a Lexus, if you've heard this program. I've mentioned that a half dozen times, and Lexus manufacturer went to the dealer after I did what I did, and guess what? They left it where I had it set, and that's what fixed the automobile. So you got to find the right person to fix the car. Throw the specs out. Do what it takes to fix that car, but use the specs as a measuring stick and go from there. Got it?
Okay.
Don't let up. Hey, Daryl, don't let up, man. Go to ASA. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to asashop.org, asashop.org, they don't make it easy for you to find, and I have heartburn with that, but scroll down to the bottom of the page, the bottom of the splash page, and look for Find a Shop. And then I want you, from the comfort of your home, to find a shop and tell them and ask them, are they educated enough and experienced enough that they could fix a wear problem with your tires, even if it meant there was no adjustments. And with that, I got to go. I wish you the best, Daryl. Thanks for calling.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Folks, I just don't get that, especially when it happens again and again. It's tough for us in the business to find and fix an electronic item. We keep cars for weeks at a time, and thanks to our patient customers. But when there's something that's so obviously physically out right there, this is not electronic. It's a physical issue. It's just like, for instance, an accident. An accident can be stressful, and getting your car repaired even more stressful. So our friends at CarStar, North America's largest multi-shop owner network with more than 600 stores in 35 states and 10 Canadian provinces, has created a comprehensive list of items that you can use to make the entire process easier. Best time following an accident that you'll ever invest. And let me share this with you because it's important. Collision repair is complex. So make sure that you review the estimate and repair plan with the estimator and the collision repair shop. You need to ask questions and visually look at that damage so that after the car is repaired, you'll know what to compare. Now you say, well, Bobby, that makes a lot of sense, and it really does. But a lot of folks that are not in the business just say, well, handle it, and then they're concerned afterwards. But here's a few tips that I want to share with you, and then I'll get to the next call. Always compare the original estimate to the final bill. Also, make sure the new paint matches the old in direct sunlight. Check the body gaps, the door edges, the trunk lid, the hood, and ask to see which new parts were installed where that's possible, of course. You can't know on some because they're underneath and what have you. Visually take a look at the seams in the trunk or the wheel wells, and don't forget, as I said, a quick look at the underside of the body, the chassis. Make sure that you understand the repair warranty and where it's covered, as well as its limitations. And here's the easy part. I got to the easy part. Make sure the dash lights, the radio, the air conditioner, and other electronic items work as they did before the accident. So if you'd like more information, you can check online at carstar.com. And CarStar, as I said, is North America's largest multi-shop owner network with more than 600 stores in the 35 states. That's carstar.com. Folks, at CarStar, they don't just repair cars. They repair your car. We'll take a call from Sandy in New York. Sandy, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Connect. Thank you for holding.
Hi, Bobby. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I just want your opinion on my husband took his Toyota Tacoma. He's been taking it to the dealer since he bought it, the same dealer. And he got all new tires on it a couple weeks ago, all 4 tires. And about a week later, after we finally had a nice day, he's washing the car, the truck, and notices the wheels are dinged up. And he's like, what happened here? And it looks fresh. There's fresh scuff marks on the aluminum alloy wheels. So we took it to the dealer and we questioned it, and we know that it kind of, it comes down to seemingly now that it's our word against theirs, because they said, well, we'll fix 2 of them, but we're not going to fix the other 2. And the scuffs to me, they look the same. They look like either maybe when they took the wheels off to put the tires on, that they might have stacked them or something.
Right.
So what is the recourse a consumer has? Because let me tell you, some years back, I had a Subaru Forester and took it to a tire place, and they totally wrecked my wheels. I mean, I swore then that I would never take my car back to another. Just one of these tire places. So what do we do?
Sandy, there's just nothing you can do. And I feel your pain, because what you just mentioned is and has been the most egregious issue that I've had with installation of new tires on wheels. I experienced that same problem. I never take my car through a car wash. I have curbed my own wheels and I have sent them off to get them fixed, and they're very expensive, and it takes $400 a wheel to restore my wheels on my car, and I've restored 2 of them, my fault. But I will tell you, I don't know, and I know there are tire changing machines in the world that can replace a tire without touching the wheel, but I've yet to see one, and so unfortunately there's not much that you can do, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that, I'm out of time. Folks, I'm Bobby Likis. Likis, I hope you loved us. Have a great day.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car
to
Clinic
talk
is
over
a copyrighted
Mike,
presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated, and may
take
not
care
be
of your car.
reproduced or rebroadcast
I gotta go.
without
Bye.
the
See you
express
next
written
week.
approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Motorrad, a longtime OE supplier, is the leader in automotive thermostats and fuel and oil coolant caps. Motorrad's state-of-the-art quality control and functional testing systems ensure high-quality, long-lasting products. Motorrad delivers world-class product development, providing all the parts and accessories needed to do the job right the first time, every time. Motorrad offers the best coverage of thermostats and closure caps in the world for virtually any vehicle and engine on or off the road. Motorrad, leading the way in coverage and service.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
P. Ricey Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, Loden, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?